Before we started the show today, you said that Chakra OutLoud was the perfect platform for you to talk about what you do. Why is that so? What do you do? Please let the people know.
Well, that's a great question. Chakras are so important. We have a lot of chakras in our body, and to be able to start getting more engaged with it, we do have to live out loud with it, and be able to express, what are our chakras and how we're living through them. So one of the things that I do is I help people align with their 7 major chakras, because we have many chakras to deal with.
I've gone through all of them,
Yeah.
one by one.
I found that out on the convention that there was actually like more than 7. And
There's
then
more than 7.
and
It's
you
just
can dive
7
into a
major
couple
There
more.
is, and
Right.
you know what's funny? Like one of my toughest one was getting over my throat chakra, because a lot of us are not confident enough to speak up for why we want, what we believe in, and stuff like that. So that's one of like the major one, because it connects you to the rest.
So true
Yeah.
story. My throat chakra was up until I got my neck piece. I feel like I wasn't really like balanced, and I think that it took a while for me to kind of commit to that because I didn't feel like I was in the right space to do so. And I feel like growing up, right, I was very vocal and I was very verbal and I was very like I was thriving as a child. And then I went through like a terrible relationship, a very abusive relationship, and I feel like that kind of set me back and it threw me off that balance.
Yeah.
That I needed, and it took a lot of years to really feel that power in my voice again. And so I feel like I'm in a much better space. Not to say that it was blocked, but it was just not balanced, if that makes
100%.
sense.
I know what you mean. I'm still working on the throat chakra right now too, but that is
Okay.
a great point.
Yeah, but we should.
Yeah, I was gonna say. What? Continue.
As I segue back to the throat chakra, the throat chakra is the toughest one for a lot of us for a number of reasons. And that's one of the things that you'll go through with, I have like a couple of different processes, because this is not something that, you just see me one day and, this is not like a one-day checkup. Even though I do a chakra checklist, which is amazing, like everyone that goes through it, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like I understand so much about myself than I've ever have. Like I gave it to like a 70-year-old once, and he was like, "Where were you 40 years ago?"
Awesome. Yeah, that's dope.
I'm like, "I'm sorry, I was not born yet."
So, what is kind of a chakra checklist? Is that something that you offer? Is it like helping you open up your chakras? What is like kind of the balance there?
So one of the leading programs that I'm offering right now is a 99-day community development. Because in order for us to really get introduced to our chakras, we need to be in a safe space. So I create a setting to where you can acknowledge yourself from a safe space, and you go through thank you. You go through 2 cleanses. They're 21 days long, right? And one of the cleanses is a worldly cleanse. And what you'll do is you go through your chakras one day at a time, and you'll be prompted to look at things from a setting for yourself, which completely removes the outside world from dictation of your life. And that is resetting your chords.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
When did you know chakras are so important? When did you really dive into it and try to open them up?
The funny thing is, when I started this journey, I'm 38, by the way.
Right.
I started this journey 8 years ago, and I was done having kids at this point, and I was like, I need to get my body to look how my mind feels. Right. And I just started down this lane of removing a lot of mishaps or misperceptions from my life that created me to just naturally walk into the realm of spirituality, finding chakras, being able to see like this is your root chakra on balance, this is your sacral chakra on balance, or balance, because it's important to know like, yeah, you're balanced with this. Don't get confused.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
When did you two find out that it was important to know your chakras and understand them? Like, we're in chakra tattoos.
So I think we were already seeing each other, right? And I think that we were going through something different.
It was like a break in a relationship.
Yeah, we were going through something different together, right? Because I feel like the both of us had never really been in that emotional space that we found ourselves in.
Yeah.
And it was basically like, okay, this is where I'm off, right? This is what I'm not contributing. And then he realized like, okay, so this is where I'm at fault, or this is what I'm lacking in the relationship. And so we started to really see eye to eye as to like, who's responsible for what? I'm responsible for my actions.
Getting an
and what I'm
understanding of
doing.
everything.
And you're responsible for your actions and what you're doing,
100%.
right? And maybe this is me projecting, right? And maybe this is you not knowing how to communicate. And And so we really started to like dive into that spiritual world because we felt like our connection was more than just like a physical thing, right? It
so
was
there was a word for it. We just didn't know what it was. What was it
right?
called?
Yeah. And so we started to really like
we were trying to open up a business,
Yeah.
obviously, and come together and stuff like that. But it's like, what do you call what's going on?
Yeah.
The fact that we were not seeing eye to eye, and then we did, and then now we have a better connection now. All this thing is like, what do you call this shit?
Yeah.
And
Right?
then like the physical manifestation of it, right? Because you can literally feel like the activation.
Transmuting that energy.
Absolutely. And you could feel it, like you could feel the change happening within you.
Yeah.
So
And-
what a lot of people don't know is like when it comes to chakra, all the chakra points to like a certain organ in your body, right? It's aligned to every organ in your body.
Yeah.
So for example, like the heart chakra, what happens when you get a heartbreak? We have two hearts, right? Which is the regular heart, and then we have a thymus, which is the upper heart. So what happens is it releases all these antibodies when you have love for somebody. This is what makes you feel good. So when you see that person, you have that love for somebody, is because the antibodies are flowing through your body.
Yeah.
You feel really good about that person. When your heart is broken, it's what happens is when your chakra is being fucked with, right? So when it's being fucked with, stop producing less antibody. So you feel a little bit down, stressed, and like
Like
oh
your
my God.
heart hurts. Have
Yeah,
you ever
like-
been
like
heartbroken
like
where your
it's
heart
weird, like
hurts?
it
Yeah.
hurts or something
Yeah.
like
You know
that.
what I mean? Like it physically hurts.
Yeah, so it's important to acknowledge that
Same
each
thing,
chakra
like-
is part of every organ that we have. Well, the 7 or 8 organs that we have in our body. And it's important to acknowledge all these things.
Yeah, like butterflies. You know, when you meet somebody
Solar plexus.
and you're like, oh my God, I think I like him.
Yeah.
Your stomach is
It
doing
tells
this
you if
thing.
it's good or not.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 Tuition
And-
is everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and back to the thing, and this is when we was like, hey, we need to come together and open up a business and stuff like that. So we went through these different names of chakras, like let's call them Ajna. Let's call them Sahara. Let's call them this and that. Sacral. And it's like, you know what? Why don't we call it chakra, because it pertains to everything that we
Yeah.
just went through.
So I feel like
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
we
You
both
know what I
got
mean?
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
once we shared a vision of what we wanted our lives to be like together, that's when things really started to align for us. Was once we got to like
So when we aligned ourselves, because sort of like when you align your chakras, like you turn yourself into an antenna. Once you align yourself, then our purpose in this business was to help align others.
Yeah.
And what we went through, we're like, you know what? Let's also help you fix yourself.
Yeah.
Not me fix you, but I'm gonna help you fix yourself. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's not cool.
You know, I always have conversations with Spirit. I don't know if y'all do that with yourself, but Spirit's like showing me a picture, and I'm like, okay, I'll share it. But it's almost like that primate monkeys cleaning each other's fleas and stuff like that. Like, let me clean your fleas first, and then you turn around and let me clean your fleas now. You know,
That's cool.
yeah, it's like helping each other, right? And so like and I think our
I don't
team
know about fleas.
our
I eat
team
crickets. You know that, right? I'm a cricket eater, bro.
I feel like our team can better speak to this than me, right? Because obviously I'm going to be biased, but I feel like working here gives you a different perspective in life, right?
100%,
And it
1000%.
kind of helps you get to know yourself a little better, and we encourage that. Like we encourage that expression and that like navigate your own thoughts, and then let me know where you're at. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
100%.
When you're in a sea of like negativity, you're gonna get overthrown and you're gonna become negative. So we try to provide a space where everybody
safe
can be
space.
positive.
Absolutely.
So if you feel any type of way down, if you feel a little bit negative, when you come in here, you will feel fucking clean.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
will feel like,
You
you know
feel it
what,
when
I
you
need
walk
to be
through the
around
door.
people like this.
yeah.
That make
Yeah.
you feel good and
Because
stuff
we
like
won't
that.
absorb your energy, but we'll make you
Yes.
aware of it.
We
Like,
transmute
like
your
look,
shit. If you're negative shit,
this is where
you
you
know what
are
I'm
right
saying?
now. I'm gonna
Yeah,
need you to
dude.
check yourself.
Right.
Like check in, and
Right.
then let's move forward
Yeah.
with
Right.
whatever we're doing.
Do you need a 4-inch mirror or a 10-inch?
1000%. When did you feel that it was important to help people understand about their chakras and really learn them?
Oh, I would say during my demystifying awareness tour really expanded it the most for me. And also because I wanted to expand what I was doing, like just spiritually, and I like hand movements. I don't know if you ever saw like hand dancers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like one of those people. So I was like, there has to be some connectivity to this. And so like you can connect mudra placements with your chakras as well, so that you can connect with those organs and stuff like that. And at that point, I was like, people have to get a handle of this, because this is what mainstream media is tapping into to pull our attention from where we don't really want it to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 1000%.
That is true. A lot of people think that you know, when you're working yourself, it's like going to the gym or putting makeup on or fucking buying the latest sneaker. But there's also spiritual healing that you need to do. Because you know how we eat something that's bad and we throw up, or we do eat something, we excrete, or whatever, we pee, we sneeze if we breathe in too much germs. Our spirit goes through a lot of negative shit that we don't never release. And it's fucking stuck inside of us. And then we can't move forward in life. We don't know why. Why are we stuck? Why can't I buy that car? Why can't I go over here? Why I'm not traveling? It's because you have to deal with a lot of shit inside. But it's a balance, man, because even though you're working on yourself on the outside, because that's what you see every day, your spirit means a lot. Yeah. This is temporary. Your spirit lives forever. So it's like you got to give it just as much as attention as you give it to your body. You know what I mean? You look all right, but you probably feel like shit inside. You know what I mean?
100%. I know what you mean.
I feel like a lighting gives you your light. Like you're able to shine your light, and you can tell when a person is like living in their light. You know?
And it's almost like, you know, people commit suicide. You're like, yo, but he looked fine. He looked fine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
the body's made to look fine.
Mm-hmm. It's made,
Look, I've been really sick, and I put on some makeup, and it's like, you're not sick. I'm like, yeah. All right.
Okay. What was I about to say? I had a question. I just blanked for a second. You guys have a question?
Just do an infinity sign in your head. Come back.
Will that actually work?
Yeah.
He said,
so I am
weekly here. We're no infinity symbols.
I am going to step away. I have to go be a mom.
Well, we appreciate you for spending this time. Thank you.
Before you go, please, if you'd like to let them know what you're going for.
We love
Big
you.
congrats.
My son is graduating high school, and he got a scholarship to be a pitcher for Bloomfield College.
Yeah.
And so he is,
dope.
although he verbally committed, today is like his signing in front of like all the school
the
and
school.
all his friends
That's
and
so
stuff.
cool.
And it's incredibly exciting. So I'm off to like support him in this really big milestone for him.
100%.
Yeah.
Shout out to the sun.
Yeah,
Adios.
thank you. Enjoy, guys.
Love you, Jay.
Thank you.
It's like bittersweet moments. So my son had to stay back a year. So I'm like happy. I'm like, my son's not graduating this year.
Was it by choice?
Well, he stayed back a long time ago. It was no one's choice. But it, like, in a way, it's like it holds him back a little bit. So the selfish mom in me is like, oh, he doesn't have to grow up just that. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, can you please grow up?
Right. Drive safe, babe.
Peace.
If someone wanted to tap into the spiritual side, if they wanted to get onto the other phase of life, I would say, how would you help them go about that? What would be like the first tip you would give them?
The first tip I would give somebody is do your goddamn research. Do your goddamn research. Do not just go off of what you learned from one said line of thought. Because we all got fed the same line of understanding at school. And one of the things is like,
It was a lie.
right.
I was gonna say,
Don't start me up.
Yeah,
with this
she
bullshit
doesn't
up
know.
here.
Yeah, she doesn't know. She doesn't know.
There
I was
is a-
gonna
how
ask
we
you. I
going
was gonna
in.
ask you next. How important do you think research
My house
is?
gonna turn forward and get serious. I get political with this shit.
Yeah, trust me. And that's why I start there, because at the end of the day, I mean, I can flip it for it to look beautiful, but that's just like how I live life. I can flip everything to look beautiful. One way that you can understand, because I like to look at life at a macro, like, why did this happen? Why did spirit put this out here in front of me? And what I gathered is that, you know, the intelligence of our mind is seeking to understand how to administer information. And so we had to figure out how to put things in place and administer it so we can see, is this conditioning?
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, because we were still seeking to understand our intelligence, we didn't really understand how detrimental the choice of creating that stimulation would be. So the gentle thought of like, let's just do that for now and see how it goes. You know, you can see how off base it is if you don't start it in alignment.
Yeah. So when a kid is in that like big learning phase, would you say that it's important to help implement the spiritual side then, or would you say let them learn that
Also,
later in life?
implement also, because I wouldn't want to take away from whatever you have to learn from society.
Right,
It's also crucial, but
Yeah.
also teach them about this, about themselves. I bet you if you do teach kids about spiritualism, they would treat each other with more respect, more love, and things like having the latest sneakers wouldn't matter.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything becomes a physical thing because they stop realizing that their soul. Listen, our body is so fucking ego driven that we always constantly say that, oh, my soul.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said before, put it to example of a car.
Yeah.
Does your car have the right to say my human? Or do you sit in your car and say my car?
Maybe it does.
You get
Here
what I'm
comes
saying?
that human again.
Your car is fucking ego driven. If it says my human,
Yeah.
is whatever, and that's how we are. People are like, they're so into themselves. They'd be like, yeah, my soul doesn't feel. It's like, no, I think your soul is meant to say my body's being stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
My body's not listening. My body's like that because our body is full of negativity and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I'm
From the
saying?
wrong point
It's
of
a
view.
physical thing, so it wants negative thing. It wants to cheat. It wants to drink. It wants to party all the time and shit like that. Your spirit is the one that's constantly saying, no, we shouldn't do that. No, we shouldn't do that. But because we don't listen to our own spirit, because we constantly listen to everybody in the world, we don't know what our spirit wants. So we don't ever listen to it. So it's you're battling yourself every fucking day because it's a battle between your body, your physical, and your spirit.
Yeah.
Your spirit
Yeah.
never gets heard.
Yep.
So sometimes it wants to fucking yell and you do something crazy like, you know, I'm going to fucking drink today. Well, that's your spirit saying it's frustrated with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, you need to realize these things. Like,
Yep.
there's a balance that needs to be had. And a lot of people just happen to forget this, man. Like,
Yeah.